Good afternoon and welcome to the Matt Wallen Show. Let me repeat that. Welcome to the award-winning Matt Wallen Show on 99.3.
There you go.
U Central Radio. We had to work that in eventually.
You got to work it in, and maybe we'll just keep working it in whenever we can.
We will see how many times we work that in today.
Can you tell we're proud of that? Can you tell we're happy?
Extremely proud. Not just first and second. That's how good the show was. No, I shouldn't say was. Is.
Absolutely.
I mean, we do miss Beeman, but...
We do, but...
Beeman's doing pretty well for himself.
He is doing well, and maybe we can have like a reunion show towards the end of the semester.
We will have to get him on the show.
We'll have Beeman in for maybe one of the last couple shows, and we'll have Ike, and all four of us will hold it down. It'll be a good time. 4
people in this small little booth. Wow.
We'll find a way.
We'll find a way. Ike will not be with us today. He is working at a job that pays. Good for him. Glad for Ike. Let's see, Brad, how was your last few days?
Last couple days, man, last night I got home from work, and after taking so much time to work on school stuff, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to play Xbox all night, and that's exactly what I did.
That's what you did.
I had to keep my sanity. I had to take a step back and just relax for a little bit.
You know, that's good and all that. Did you catch any basketball by chance, though?
I did not. I actually played a basketball game on my Xbox. So.
Well, you know,
I created a player for myself who was 7'5", and it's a lot easier to get rebounds and block shots when you're 7'5".
Let me tell you, probably going to have knee problems in that fictional world. Let's see. There's something about this time of the year. And, you know, when I was a little kid, this was always my favorite time. The week before spring break. I love spring break, but the week before spring break, because you have the college basketball conference tournaments going on. It is just a fun time. You know, I remember my dad checking me out to watch OU play when they would play during school. Just fun times all around. And I'm excited today as I was as a little kid because we have such great basketball on the list for this week.
And a lot of times the anticipation of something is almost more fun than the actual event itself. So with all these conference tournaments, we're excited for March Madness. And then, of course, spring break next week, we're excited for that. But the anticipation a lot is the most fun part most times. So... because our expectations are so high, we're like, man, we're going to do all this and this, and then, like for spring break, for example, you don't get around to all the things you wanted to do, and you're like,
there's not enough time in the day.
Yeah, and you're like, well, it was fun, but, I mean, it wasn't as good as I thought, but this weekend, it's going to be good, and it's already going on. Absolutely.
The weekend started earlier because basketball, the ACC started yesterday, the Big 12 will start tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Pitt and Syracuse are playing right now. Mm-hmm. They should be they're probably at halftime right now.
Yeah.
But just great basketball to be played. What else are we going to talk about today? Deion Waiters, our thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family as he lost his brother. He won't be playing tonight. Could Anthony Morrow be getting some minutes, though, tonight? We'll talk about that. Durant finals or bust? OKC does not want to hear that. We'll also preview the Thunder game tonight versus the Clippers. But the topic I'm most looking forward to discussing, do you take Russell Westbrook or Damian Lillard? Should be a really good discussion.
That's our Twitter question of the day, right?
That is our
So you guys can go on our Twitter, The Matt Wallen Show, and vote. You can also go on our personal Twitters, and I think we've each retweeted it.
Yes,
so
we have.
You guys can vote on what you think, which is an interesting debate, so I look forward to talking about that.
Calvin Johnson retired yesterday officially. Detroit killed another one.
I put this in one of my blog posts a couple weeks ago. It was a blog post about just teams and players I wish would go away, and the Detroit Lions, man, I mean, it's just like with Barry Sanders. We're going to always wonder.
I want Cleveland to go away more than...
No, Cleveland and Detroit were the same, too.
I was about to say, I want Cleveland to go more than Detroit.
I did 5 or 6 organizations I wish would go away. I lumped the Lions and Browns in together because they're basically the same franchise.
Yeah.
So...
Well, your boy is no longer an Eagle. He got traded to Tennessee. We'll talk about that. What's going on? I can't wait for what's going on because before Ike told me he wasn't going to be here, I already wrote what's going on.
What do we? I guess we'll wait until we.
Yeah,
get there.
we'll wait. But
okay.
I just want to give you a
little hint.
The shirt to end shirts. It's amazing. You will laugh hysterically.
Okay.
Also, baseball at Fort Bragg. That's going to be awesome to talk about. Braves and Marlins to play a game honoring servicemen and servicewomen at an Army base. Good for them.
That's a cool deal.
And also, it's Wednesday. We'll probably do props. What are you thinking about those props? I love props. But let's start off with bracketology because there's so much going on this time of the year because teams are punching tickets left and right. And that's what I was doing last night. I watched some good games. I'm trying to think. Watched Gonzaga, St. Mary's, North Dakota State, South Dakota State. That was a fun little rivalry to watch, you know. Green Bay, Wisconsin, beating, is it Rider College, I believe?
I think so.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
Green Bay with this coach that Green Bay, Wisconsin has. His name is escaping me right now, but he won the Division II championship a year ago, and in year one at Green Bay has taken them to the big dance. Green Bay hasn't been to the big dance in, I believe, 25 years.
Wow.
That's
crazy.
Great hire.
Absolutely.
By the Phoenixes.
I'd be interested to see, those stats we see, if anybody else has done that before. Made the jump from D2 to D1 and then in the first year gotten the team to the
That
tournament.
would be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if anyone really just jumps to mind.
Just comes
No
to
one
mind.
right off the back. Let's look at bracketology right now. That's what everyone's talking about this time of the year. Right now, Joe Lendardi has his top 4 seeds are Villanova, Kansas, Virginia, Oklahoma. I see. Now, my thing, this was on the wrong day. Let me find the most up-to-date bracket because I was about to say that's a little misleading. Kansas, though, is number 1 in my mind.
I agree with that.
The number
totally.
1 seed.
Yeah.
Let's see. We also had some other. Let's see. What else did we have? This one, bracket updated by CBS, has number 1 Kansas, number 1 Michigan State, number 1 Villanova, and number 1 Oklahoma.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
Well, it's good for our around here that Oklahoma appears to be a number 1 seed. We'll see how things go in the Big 12 tournament, but it's gonna be interesting to watch. There are a lot of teams on the bubble like there usually are, and this is kind of like their last chance to maybe prove that they belong in the tournament. So we'll see. Just looking at from an Oklahoma perspective, I'm looking at Joe Lenardi's bracket that you mentioned earlier. Looking at the way he has it projected, things look to be shaping up pretty well for Oklahoma. You look at their side of the bracket, and it's kind of like, who do you really fear? The one that on his bracket that kind of makes me nervous a little bit is Duke, just because even though it's a down year for them, they're still Duke. It's kind of like last year. Like, nobody really thought that they were gonna. Wasn't that last year they won the championship?
Yeah, they won the championship,
and nobody really thought.
Well, everyone thought Kentucky was going to win because Kentucky was such a juggernaut.
Yeah, and I think Duke, were they still a 1 last year? I believe they were.
Yeah, I think they were a 1. But remember, it was either going to be Kentucky or Wisconsin.
Yeah.
It was going to be one of the
Duke,
two.
Which is surprising. It's Duke, and they flew under the radar and ended up winning the whole thing. So in this team obviously isn't as good, but, this could be the same deal where anybody can win it. They fly under the radar, and then they're a blue blood program, so they win when it's time to win in March.
I'm looking at Lombardi's most updated bracket, and it's March 9th, so that is today. His top 4 number 1 seeds are Kansas, North Carolina, Virginia, Villanova.
Oh, wow, okay. So I don't know why the bracket they had on the home page was from February 22nd.
That's what I was saying. When it pulled up, it sent me to the 22nd. So I'm looking at this.
This changes things.
Oklahoma is the number 2 seed in Virginia, because that one I don't understand, but I'm just looking at where they have OU.
I can't even find Oklahoma on here. Hold on.
Go search, and they're in the South Regional. They're going to play in Oklahoma City. That is a conclusion. First 2 games are going to be in Oklahoma City for OU.
Well, I actually this bracket they have now isn't so bad. Completely forget everything I just said. But Who in here worries you the most on this side of this projected bracket? I mean, obviously Virginia is the number one. Iowa State could be tough. Of course,
Utah,
Baylor.
Maybe. I don't know.
Utah's interesting.
I think this is a pretty favorable bracket.
Agreed. I don't think it's as favorable as the last one that we were just talking about, but yeah, this is
because I think they could beat Virginia.
I agree with that totally.
Because Virginia's going to want to go zone. They run that 2-3, 2-3 zone, and Oklahoma can shoot the lights out at times. So it all depends if they're on that night.
If they can get back to shooting the ball the way they were like a month ago and just stay focused throughout the tournament, I mean, they got a shot, and that's all you can ask for. They got a shot. So.
Let's see. The one thing I can't tell from these things is who are they going to play? Like, is the South going to play the East or the Midwest going to play the West in the Final Four? I'm trying to see. Because
it looks like South versus East.
Yeah, because everyone wants to see or wants there to be a chance of OU Kansas.
Yeah, where is Kansas? Midwest?
Kansas is in the Midwest.
It looks like
that's what
it's going to be like Ike's thing in the 80s.
That's what Ike wants.
It's going to be the national title game if it happens. So,
if it happens.
According to this projected bracket, but yeah, we'll see.
Let's see. Kansas, looking at their bracket, toughest opponent?
Xavier?
Yeah, I'd still take Kansas over Xavier.
Same.
You know who I might say? Indiana.
That's interesting.
I think they're coming on at the right time.
Indiana might actually be a bigger threat than Xavier right now to Kansas.
Let's see. North Carolina in the West. Yeah. Talk about going from coast to coast, though, if North Carolina's in the West.
Yeah.
The problem with this is this. We say, man, there's no team that really stands a chance. But all of them do. We see it every year.
Yeah.
And especially as many upsets as we've seen this season, there's not a definite number one team out there. I look at the West, North Carolina, and I say, well, number 3, West Virginia. Oregon probably could. Wisconsin might. I mean,
it's gonna be madness.
Up in there in the East, you got Villanova at number 1. Although I don't think Villanova wins. I think Michigan State is the better team.
Yeah, I'm on board with that. I think Michigan State. I like Michigan State a lot. I think they'll get back to at least the Sweet 16. You know what we should do? We should do a bracket group.
Okay, you want to do a bracket?
Yeah, for the radio show. Maybe I can get my sports people to do one too.
I don't even want to hear this because remember when I wanted to do fantasy football and you did not produce. Bringing in the sports people from the Vista.
But hey, that's not an issue with me. That's an issue with people not wanting to do it. It's hard to get anybody to do a fantasy football league. I tried to do one with my friends a few years ago, and me and like 3 other guys paid attention out of like 12. So and you know from the league that we were in.
I know you got mad when I wouldn't trade you when my season was over.
Wouldn't trade me McFadden, man. Come on, do me a solid. Give me McFadden because I needed a running back. I'm telling you this, in that league I was, not to get off topic, but this will be quick, don't worry. Super Bowl runner-up, back-to-back years, man. If I would have lost Le'Veon Bell and Keenan Allen last year, Keenan Allen was on pace to like shatter the receptions record, and Bell was doing his thing. I would have had a very good chance.
Moving on.
It's hard to get people to do stuff, but we'll try to get a bracket thing going.
Last 4 in, Syracuse, St. Bonavert, Monmouth, St. Mary's, and then first 4 out are Connecticut, Oregon State, Tulsa, and Valpo. I want to see Monmouth and St. Mary's in, personally.
Me too.
I think with the and people are going to say this is not going to credit the basketball playing ability of Monmouth, but they're fun to watch.
Agreed. Yeah.
Especially at that bench and the celebrations. I understand.
I love celebrations.
I know, it's a lot of fun. That's the worst thing that's ever happened to football is they taken celebrating out.
Oh, I 100% agree with you with that.
Worst thing that's ever happened to football.
I loved watching,
more than this concussion.
Terrell Owens and Randy Moss and all those celebrations were like the best thing. And Sean Alexander even, like the mid-2000s were the best because you knew not only were you going to see incredible touchdowns and plays, you're going to see celebrations. I'm all for celebrations.
We'll bring it back. We will figure out a way to bring it back. We'll take a quick break. Then when we come back, we'll talk to Thunder. We got Kevin Durant. We got Russell Westbrook. We got it all You're listening.
We got it all.
We got it all. You're listening to the Matt Wallen Show on 99.3 U Central Radio. Welcome back. You're listening to the Matt Wallen Show on 99.3 U Central Radio. It is 12:23, and let me once again add, you're listening to the award-winning Matt Wallen Show.
There you go.
We're gonna remember to say right off the bat. My mom gets on to me that more than anyone else. For some reason, I say right off the back. And she goes, "You played baseball, Matt. Get it right. It's right off the bat."
I noticed it too, but I'm like, do I say something? Do I?
I know. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Coming up, we'll talk to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Once again, our thoughts and prayers are out to the Dion Waiters family after losing his brother. Tragic, absolutely tragic.
It's a really sad deal. We don't know all the details, but we just know that he was violently gunned down with 6 other people in Philadelphia. 3 separate acts of violence, though. But that just shows that there's just a problem with violence in this country. So
that is true.
It's really unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. The Thunder do have a game though tonight. Like we said, Dion will not be in uniform or be with the team. Play the Clippers. It'll be interesting to see how that affects the lineup, because you'd have to think Anthony Morrow.
You would think, but in my opinion, it'll be Payne will be rightfully back in the rotation. So we'll have Payne back in there, and hopefully he'll do. I don't know what he has to do to get back in the rotation. Maybe he'll have a double-double off the bench, and they'll finally say, "Oh, this guy's a better ball handler than Randy Foye, and he has more upside. Maybe we should play this guy."
Foye goes to the 2, and then they keep Payne at the 1?
I would imagine, but with this team, who knows? Maybe they'll dust off, maybe have Muhammad run the second unit with the way they love veterans. I mean, who knows? But
you're loving Muhammad. Don't even.
I do like Muhammad as a person, and I liked him a lot as a player. He was a good backup center when he was here. I just don't understand their over-reliance on veterans, but we'll see what happens. But
they might want to figure it out, because
playoffs they're just around the corner.
And what has come out is that it is finals or bust for the Thunder to keep Kevin Durant. This coming off a podcast, I believe, by who is it? It's part of that vertical with Andre. How do you pronounce Andre's last name?
Andre.
Or Adrian Woj.
Adrian Wojnarowski.
That's how you pronounce
it.
Okay. Well, Myers, Joel Myers discussed the Durant situation with SiriusXM NBA Radio. If they don't, I'm told, if they don't at least go to the NBA Finals, Durant's gone. Simple as that. And to the point where he may want his own team. So everybody talking about Golden State, there may be other teams coming into the equation for Kevin Durant. He's the principal. He's going to be the guy. So from what I've been told, it may not be Golden State after all.
I don't think he would go to Golden State. It's fun to think about, but you consider his legacy. It would be worse than LeBron when he went to Miami, because, obviously D Wade won that championship in 2006, but that core hadn't won one. But, I mean, if he goes to the Warriors this summer, they could be potentially back-to-back defending champions. It would not be a good look for Durant's legacy at all if he did that. So I would imagine he would want to go somewhere else. 2 places that I think are really interesting, Boston and Miami for Durant. Because with Miami, he takes over for D Wade, and then he'll probably be retired, and then he'll take over. Miami has actually been the best free agent draw over the last 20, 30 years.
Pat Riley, can bring people in.
Unlike, unfortunately, the Thunder, they can bring in whoever they want. I mean, they brought in Joe Johnson when they're not even really a true contender this year. So they've shown time and again they can get guys to put around him. And that's what Durant needs. But also Boston. Boston, to me, is like a younger OKC, or at least like OKC used to be. Isaiah Thomas isn't as good as Westbrook, but I think he could get there. And then you've got a bunch of really good, solid role players like Marcus Smart, Kelly Olynyk, and then Durant. Even as good as those role players and as Thomas is, Durant would unquestionably be the guy there, but they would still be contender. Also, Toronto. What about Toronto? Because
yeah, I think the problem with Boston is good where they're at. Yes, Durant would make them better, but what they really need is a presence down low.
I don't know, because I think the NBA is moving away from having a presence down low. It's a nice thing to have, but I mean, just look at the way the Thunder brought in Cantor, and they don't even use him down there.
But think about it. If the Boston used Cantor, or had Cantor, and would use him like he is, I think they'd be in first place in the East.
First place, really?
Yes.
I could probably see him at second. I don't know about first. I think Cleveland.
I mean, they're currently in what, third?
Third?
Yeah, they'd be in first place in the East.
But Cantor's defense, I just don't know. If they had like somebody at power forward who could also play defense, like Aldridge or who else, Horford, then I could get on board with that. But I mean, it can't be understated how Cantor's defense playing big minutes is. It'd be tough. I
disagree. I personally disagree.
That's fine, but I just feel like if Boston got Durant, you look at the 3-point shooters. You know, Thomas can hit from outside from time to time. Marcus Smart, Avery Bradley, and then you've got Durant in the mix. They could be the East version of the Warriors in a sense. You got all that spacing and all that pace and flow. And I think, don't they have Amir Johnson now? He's a pretty good shot blocker, so. It would be, I think it would be a great fit for him in Boston. But don't get me wrong, you know, I live in OKC. I'm a Thunder fan, but yeah, I want Durant to stay. But this ultimatum thing is interesting.
Well, Durant said when asked about the finals or his leaving ultimatum, everyone makes up rumors this time of the year, and of course he's going to deny it. But it's just interesting. It's just kind of interesting to think about.
And another thing, I'm reading Royce Young's article on ESPN. The first paragraph is kind of interesting because it says that Durant shot down a circulating rumor Tuesday that the Thunder are operating with a finals or bust ultimatum in relation to his future free agency. So that kind of, maybe it's just a mistake in wording, I don't know, but that kind of puts it in the scope of the Thunder is the one that's operating in finals or bust for Durant, and I think that's absolutely the right way to go. You know? So that's another thing that's a little intriguing about this. But I don't believe that Durant would say or do something like that because I just don't think I think we all knew the Warriors and Spurs would be good. I don't think we knew that they'd both be on pace for 70 some odd wins.
It's crazy.
We came into the season saying
really is.
We came into the season saying it was finals or bust for the Thunder, but that was before we knew just how good those two top dogs in the West would be. So
what do you do though? And this is not what we were really planning on talking about today, but what do the Thunder have to do to get on track with Golden State? Because you look at it from the standpoint is they have to redo most of their team because they don't match up well.
I think they have to work on their defense and work on being consistent and playing the full 48 minutes. And they have from now until the second round because I don't look for them to have much of a hard time against either Memphis without Gasol in the first round or the Mavericks. You know, I don't think they'll sweep them, but it'll probably be a 5 or 6 game series, and they'll have to flip that switch, so to speak, to get back to where they were the last time they were in the playoffs. They've got to get back to that level of play, and it's going to be really interesting with this team in particular because, you know, we talk about Cameron Payne maybe being squeezed out of the rotation because he's never been in the postseason before, and that's why Foy is in there for him. But Dion Waiters has never played in the postseason before. You know, Enes Kanter played sparingly with the Jazz when they were an 8 seed in the playoffs against the Spurs. So we have a lot of playoff inexperience outside of just Payne. So
my thing is for people who think that the Thunder are just going to turn it on once they hit the playoffs. I just don't see it happening.
I don't see it happening, but that's what it's going to take. They're going to have to just step up and do something, you know, to get back to where they were. I don't think it'll happen. I'm like you. I think I've said it before on the last show. I'm going to keep saying it. I don't think they're a true contender this year. I don't think there's any chance they win the NBA Finals. Absolute best case scenario, if they have some breaks and have some things go their way, they could make it there. But even then, I don't know if they could beat Cleveland. But in my opinion, I don't think they're winning the championship. I think there's like a 1% chance.
True statement. Moving on, and this is what I have really looked forward to talking about today. the argument, the discussion of the better point guard. Who is better, Damian Lillard or Russell Westbrook? Lillard has been on a great stretch, even last night. Blazers beat the Wizards in overtime, 116-109. Lillard had 41 points, 5 rebounds, 11 assists.
Wow. What was his shooting percentage?
Let me pull it up.
Because I think he scores a lot and he does it efficiently. That's what makes it.
That's 12 for 25, so just under 50%.
That's great. I mean, I'll take it.
And 6 for 13 from 3.
That's awesome. Yeah, people have been trying to compare him to Curry, and it's not off base anymore. It may have been off base last season and the year before, but Lillard has shown that, hey, I'm an all-star, and y'all need to pencil me in as an all-star the next few years, instead of snubbing me, because I'm on that level, and I agree. I've always loved Lillard. Ever since his rookie season, I've been like, wow, this guy is great. And if you'll recall, we all talk about the shots that Curry has made from, 35 feet and stuff. And
think
like
about
court
the clutch shots
against the Rockets.
That Lillard
Game
has made.
6.
Yes.
That was one of the greatest playoff shots I've seen. I remember I was watching that game at like a restaurant, and I about jumped out of my seat when I saw that. That was incredible. I think, the Thunder specifically, they better watch out and hope they don't put a good team around him, because they could give them some trouble in division. You got to commend Lillard for making the people around him better, because McCollum has been playing better, and a lot of people thought they'd be deep in the lottery, but I think they're only a few games out of the playoffs. They could be the 8th seed, so I would love to see that. I'm not really feeling the Rockets or the Jazz, but I'd love to see Lillard and Curry go at it, even if it is probably a sweep. But that would just be a fun thing to watch as a fan.
Here's my thing, because man, they have turned the corner, and they are currently the 6th seed.
The Blazers are the 6th seed now.
Yes,
wow.
they are currently the 6th seed.
See, I thought they were still like around the Nuggets and the Kings, and then
they're the 6th seed.
I'll tell you what,
they've won 7 out of their last 4.
So the Thunder is projected to play them. That's gonna be tough. I might take back on the first round. In the first round, they may be in some trouble. The Thunder hasn't lost in the first round of the playoffs since they lost to the Lakers. Mm-hmm. Remember, they were the 8, and then the Lakers were defending champion.
Hey, they gave Lakers a good run that year.
They did, and that was when Thunder basketball was on the rise.
Rise.
Now that we're kind of on a little bit of a decline.
But let's look at it, because I did the work last night, and I looked at the numbers. Since the All-Star break, the Trailblazers are 7-4, and the Thunder are 3-6. Okay, let's look at this. Lillard is shooting 33. He's getting 33.5 points a game, only 5.2 assists, 3.8 rebounds. He's shooting almost 48% from the field.
Wow, that's
crazy. He's making 4.4 threes a game.
42% from 3.
Yes.
Wow,
and
that's
less than
incredible.
3 turnovers a game.
That's great. I mean, he's carrying them. I mean, there's no doubt about it, and there's also no doubt in my mind that his assists would be higher if he had more pieces around him.
If you look at Westbrook since the break, 24.2, 12.1 assists, 7.2 rebounds. So the assist and rebounds, he does do better than Lillard. Mm-hmm. He shoots 46.6% from the field. This is the one that kills me. He makes 1.4 threes a game, but yet he takes as many 3 shots as he does. He is shooting less than 30%, 29.5. He's averaging 3.8 turnovers a game.
I just think about...
I love Russell Westbrook.
We all do. I'll always be a Westbrook fan.
And he is a great athlete. But don't you think that this would better suit the Thunder if they had a point guard that had the numbers that Lillard had?
Oh, definitely. And then you think about the 3-point percentage, just being able to space the floor with Durant out there, and it would be a really good thing for the Thunder to have. I think it's the same thing we've seen with Westbrook over the years. If you gave the guy Tony Parker or Dwayne Wade's shot chart, I mean, he would be much more efficient and much more effective. Just eliminate those threes to 1 or 2 a game and just work your mid-range, work the post. I would like to see more of that, but he keeps launching these threes, and it's just not a it's not a smart thing to do. And again, it's just a ripple effect. It goes back to the coaching. The coaches need to be able to rein him in and say, Russ, man, you're incredible, but all these 3-point shots, we got to tone it down a little bit. If it's within the flow of the game and you're wide open, do what you got to do. But let's try to keep it around 1 or 2 a game, and see what we can do. I mean, remember at the end of the Clippers game,
he just threw
up a 3-point shot. I mean, things like that.
He was trying to get fouled, but come on, man.
It's hard to expect the officials to make a call in that situation. And I think he had a couple guys open too. So you gotta be smarter and recognize what's the smart basketball play.
But when you look at these numbers, who is the better point guard?
Well, right now, who
do you take? If you had to choose one of them to be on your team, who are you taking? Because I know we say Russell Westbrook, and by the way, on our Twitter question, 86% says Westbrook and only 14 took Lillard.
I voted for Westbrook, by the way.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Just because it's kind of funny now that Westbrook is averaging a lot of assists. We used to always talk about, we need a true point guard. Well, if you look at these numbers, I mean, Westbrook is being
he looks like a true point guard.
He's being more of a true point guard than Lillard. So,
but with the way the Thunder's set up, what do they need? I think people better realize now you don't need a true point guard.
Yeah. I mean, I have no problem with the way that, other than the 3-point shots, I have no problem with the way that Westbrook's playing. I mean, who knows how the Thunder would be doing with Lillard right now, but I think there's nothing wrong with what Westbrook's doing. He got to play better defense and take away the 3-point attempts. But I don't have any problem with how Westbrook's playing right now. I think Lillard overall might be, gosh, this is a really good question. Good job on coming up with this topic, because I just keep going back and forth. I think overall I would still take Westbrook. So are you feeling more like Lillard?
I'm taking Lillard. Okay. And I love Russ. I don't want people to think I just want to harp on the Thunder, because Russ is a great basketball player.
Absolutely.
Could be
best athlete in the NBA right now.
Best athlete,
I think.
But when I see, I don't know. Let me ask you this: do you ever see Portland winning a championship?
Ever?
With Lillard. Do you see Lillard winning a championship in Portland?
I could see that, yeah.
Okay.
As an organization, they've won one before, and they just got to put people around them. I think it's definitely possible.
I personally don't.
Okay.
I don't think that they will ever win a championship, or Lillard will never win a championship in Portland.
Okay.
If you added him into OKC and replaced Russ, I'm not saying they would win one, but I think they might be better.
What about
They would have a better chance with Lillard.
Now think about this. I believe Lillard was in the same draft as Steven Adams. Imagine if after the Harden trade, the Raptors has been as bad as we thought they would be, and the Thunder would have gotten the high enough pick to take Lillard, and then you got Lillard as your sixth man. Imagine how good that would be. You can make draft scenarios to make a super team for anybody.
You wouldn't keep him because look how good we do at drafting six men.
Well, we trade him to for
Kevin Martin.
Yeah, people like that. So you're right.
I'm just saying. Also, just to throw it up because I did Curry's numbers as well. He missed the game against Atlanta, so they are 8-2. But with Curry, they're 7-2. Curry, since the All-Star break, is averaging 35.6 points a game. Wow, 6 assists, 7.7 rebounds. 54.5% from field, 6.2 threes a game, 49.5 from percentage from three, and only 3.6 turnovers. Yeah. Wow.
And I still can't. It blows my mind that the Blazers are in the playoffs now. They're the 6th seed. I mean, they could easily. Let's see here. They're 5 games back of the Grizzlies, but they don't have Marc Gasol. Isn't that correct? Yes. They don't have Gasol. So, I mean, it'd be tough, but the way they're playing right now, they could overtake them. And if you're the Thunder, you got to hope that. I mean, I'd rather play any of these. I'd rather play the Grizzlies, Mavericks, or Rockets before I'd rather play the Blazers the way that they are right now with Lillard. Man, that'd be tough. And I've been to. It's for some reason whenever I've been able to go to Thunder games, whenever I've gotten tickets from people, it's always been against the Blazers. And there have been times where Lillard has been scary good. He has gotten so hot and started lighting us up.
I'm telling you, I'm taking Lillard.
I've been in a game where we were up by like 15 points in the fourth quarter. Lillard just caught fire, and we ended up losing in overtime. So
I love Westbrook, and he was the first draft pick Well, I guess he was with Seattle or drafted by Seattle. But his first year in the NBA was when they were in OKC. Mm-hmm. Special place in a lot of Thunder people's heart.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But Lillard, man, he can play.
The interesting thing about Lillard, too, is he spent 4 years in college.
Yes.
So even though he came in the NBA later than Westbrook, he's only like a year or so younger than him. So it's a pretty good comparison. And
Cat can play, man.
Yeah, he can.
Moving on till tonight, Clippers are in Oklahoma City to take on the Thunder. Who are you feeling?
I think the Thunder has to avenge that loss last week, and they have to get back on track. I'm actually, speaking of going to Thunder games, I'm actually going to the game tonight. So I'll be looking to see how they manage rotations and see how they try to get some better looks in the fourth quarter and close out an opponent.
Out of the last out of the last 10, the Clippers are 6-4. The Thunder are opposite, 4-6. Thunder are averaging 110 points a game while giving up 103 points, while the Clippers are averaging scoring 104 and giving up 100. So, how high scoring is the game going to be? Both teams over 110 tonight, you think?
I think both teams over 100, not 110. I think the spread is 5.5 OKC.
6.
6?
Okay, or 6 OKC, yeah.
I would take the Clippers to cover that. I think it's going to be another close game.
The over-under's at 216, so you would think 108.
I think that's right on the money. I think, because I was thinking like 108 to 105, something like that.
Okay, so you're taking the under on that?
Yeah, just slightly.
Taking the under? Okay. I think I'm going to go over on it.
Okay.
I'm thinking about the 110 range. It's going to be both teams are going to be over 110 because we don't play defense.
And then one thing that was kind of lost in that game a couple weeks ago is, or last week, Chris Paul really didn't play that well. So you'd imagine he's going to be better this time around, and it's going to make things really, really tough on the Thunder. They got to clamp down on defense.
Do you think Thunder can, if they get the lead, can put their foot on the gas? Can they keep it on the gas? Because I'm not sold.
I think it all depends on how Durant's playing, because I still don't think they have anybody that can match up with him. And if he can get hot and just keep doing his thing, it's going to be tough for them. He's got to play defense too.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break. Then when we come back, we'll talk about Calvin Johnson retiring, Murray going to Tennessee, what's going on, and baseball being played at Fort Bragg. You're listening to The Matt Wallen Show on 99.3 U Central Radio. And we're back.
Got some new intro music.
Yeah,
it's funky. I like it. You got to switch it up every once in a while.
I'm trying to find some stuff over here.
I like that.
We got some interesting stuff.
We get something with more of like a hip-hop feel. That'd be nice.
Hip-hop? I think I got disco over here.
90s hip-hop?
Disco freak, man.
Ooh.
We're going to try that. We'll play out to that and see.
Okay.
See how it works. Let's see. It is 12:49, and you're listening to the Matt Wallen Show on 99.3 Years Central Radio. Lost my train of thought with that new music, man. Changing things up.
You gotta keep it fresh, man.
We do indeed. Let's see. Calvin Johnson retiring. Thoughts?
I feel like I've already said my piece. You know, he was dominant and he was amazing, but I'll always think about what might have been if he could have played with a better franchise, the Tom Brady's and the Drew Breeses of the world, and instead of a couple of good years from Matt Stafford. It's a shame.
Do you think he would have done better with even Jay Cutler?
Yeah, with his arm, absolutely. I think so.
With the Bears organization,
plus you remember Stafford.
They're much better, but
plus you remember Stafford was hurt a lot early in his career, so that really curtailed his production. But to put up the numbers he did in a short amount of time, I mean, it's impressive. It's just I'll always think about what might have been. It's kind of like with Barry Sanders. I mean, Sanders had a better career than Calvin, but Calvin could have been, in my opinion, the greatest of all time on a better franchise. So.
Megatron.
And playing with a little bit longer.
Is no more.
He's only 30. That's just a shame.
That same year. Same age.
I mean, you look at Randy Moss and Jerry Rice and Terrell Owens even, they played well into their late 30s. So imagine what Calvin could have done.
You think if they would have traded him or released him, he'd come back?
Calvin? I think that they would have traded him out of respect for him to give him a shot to win something, because the Lions aren't doing anything for the next couple of years.
Okay, moving on. Murray to Tennessee, and it's, I guess DeMarco Murray is only worth a fourth-round draft pick. Switching fourth-round draft pick.
Yeah, it's a shame. Should have stayed in Dallas, man. I tried to tell you.
You tried to tell me?
Should have stayed behind that.
But what does this mean now? Because you say, well, I cannot hate myself anymore when I wear the jersey.
I can only passively be bitter towards them for leaving Dallas.
Okay. But I hear the Cowboys are going to be taking Carson Wentz.
I hope not, man. We gotta do something about the defense. And if it's Dallas, if you want a quarterback, just go get one free agency. Who doesn't want to be the Cowboys quarterback?
Well, you saw how much Chase Daniel got a good size contract and was signed by the Eagles today. Mm-hmm. And last time I checked, Daniel isn't that great of a quarterback.
No.
Is it that big of a need for quarterbacks in the NFL? Basically, what I'm seeing is there's no great quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
right
Manny's retired. You got Brady, but there's no one out there. So let's just try to bring in what we can. We're gonna have to overpay.
Yeah,
but let's bring someone in.
Yeah, I think if you're the Cowboys, you look to fix that defense and address when Romo retires, get one in free agency. Because who doesn't want to be the Cowboys quarterback taking over for Romo? I mean, that would be, especially if you figure they'd have Des Bryant and hopefully some more playmakers by then. But that's long off on the road. As far as running back, I'd love to see Derrick Henry. I don't know about 4th overall, but maybe then the 2nd round if he's still there. But we'll see. I'm getting pretty excited about the draft.
It's time now for what's going on. I can't do the song.
What's going on?
Okay, I was gonna try another.
My best
I was gonna try
impression.
another button and see. Let's see if this. Ooh, we should just. This should be the new intro.
That beat, I'm feeling it, man.
I'm liking that. I am liking that.
That went hard.
That was. It's time for what's going on now. This is to start off. What's going on? It is the shirt to end shirts. Mm-hmm. I love it. I love it so much. And this shirt was made by a Minnesota fan. And it goes back. What year in the draft would this have been?
2009.
2009.
Yeah.
Brad, have a good one as you're heading out.
Yeah, I got to head out. But we can go ahead and talk about the shirt real quick.
In 2009, and it's the 5th, the 6th, the 7th draft and 8th draft pick coming up. And the Timberwolves had back-to-back draft picks. Then Golden State was at number 7. Minnesota took Rubio and Flynn, and Golden State got Steph Curry.
Yep. And then
greatest shirt ever.
It's like those draft board things you see where they have the player's name next to the team you went to, and then
it looks like a draft board. It's great.
Like we were talking about, I don't remember who was taking 4th overall, but at 3rd overall, the Thunder took Harden. So
But do you remember? People thought he was going to take Rubio.
Yeah.
That the Thunder were going to take Rubio.
Yeah. The Timberwolves got 2 not so good players sandwiched between 2 MVP candidates. So that's a pretty funny shirt, and it just shows how. Poor Timberwolves fans, just so tortured over the last few years. But at least they got Towns and Wiggins. We'll see how they do.
All right,
well, I got to head out. So
have a good one, Brad.
Everybody have a good day out there.
Next one, Spurs Tony Parker to open up a French food truck in San Antonio, calling it Creme de la Creme. Would you go?
It'd be Creme de la Creme.
Creme de la Creme. I'm not French.
Well, I took French in middle school, so okay.
Fancy.
And with
fancy.
Au revoir. I'm out of here.
Okay. Brad and his knowledge is too good for us. Tony Parker to open up a French food truck. Well, I've tried out. I don't know about y'all, but why not? French food made by Tony Parker. I don't think he's going to actually make it. He's just partnering to open one up. Next up on what's going on, Mark Wahlberg agrees to produce a movie about Caron Butler's life. Man, are times that tough? Maybe he has a greater story that I need to look into, but I'm not just feeling it. College basketball announcer ejected from game by referee because of gestures. I listened to the audio this morning, and it's interesting. I just want to know what the gestures were that he made. And the gesture, or hearing the play-by-play guy talk, he was describing the play over the air, and I guess he got into it, and with his hand movements, it drew the official over. In the tape, you can hear the official saying, "Get the manager over here. Get the student manager. Who's this? Who's this?" The guy gets warned. Later, he's thrown out. He later gets to come back. It was a big misunderstanding, but wow, no one is safe. Also, it has been the announcer pairings for the 2016 NCAA tournament, March Madness, have been announced. And as usual, you got to know it's being hosted by TBS. I'm waiting for it to load right now as it's taking some time. But Jim Nance and Bill Raftery are going to be the main two. With them will be Grant Hill and Tracy Wolfson. The other ones that people are probably going to want to listen to, Vernus Lundquist and Jim Sparkinockle and Kevin Harlan and Reggie Miller. That'll be another good one. Kevin and Reggie will have a regional final, as long will Lundquist. And let's see, Jim Nance and Bill Raftery will have their own regional finals. Well, you would imagine they'll probably do the Final Four too, would be Jim Nance and Bill Raftery. Yeah, you would have to imagine. Let's see, what else do we got? We got about 3 minutes left. That's been what's going on. Let's see. Oh, baseball at Fort Bragg. This is pretty awesome for everyone out there because, we've seen it. College basketball's gone play on military bases. I believe at one point they were going to actually play on a carrier in the ocean, but I believe due to weather, they weren't able to have that game. I could be wrong. Could be. But anyway, the Braves and Marlins will be playing on July 3rd, a regular season matchup at a newly constructed ballpark at Fort Bragg's military base in North Carolina. That is just awesome. That's just going an extra mile. To play and for the servicemen and women who give their lives to protect this country, just an awesome feeling. Man, and you got to know that the Major League Baseball players, they're gonna feel good about this. It's really going to be awesome to see this. Let's see. Fort Bragg continues to be the most densely populated military base in the U.S. It's been around for nearly a century, becoming a vital resource for the United States during World War II. That's pretty awesome. The Braves will give up one home game for the honor of hosting this contest. That's pretty awesome for the Braves. It might cost them some money from not hosting the game at home, but that's still pretty awesome. Man, congrats to both the Braves and the Marlins to get to play in that game. Well, that is all the time we have for today. Man, wow. It's been fun. It has been a lot of fun. But we will be off all next week for spring break. That's sad. I'll miss you. Management has told us we need to take some time off. We do. We'll be back Monday, March 21st, and we'll have a lot of college hoops to talk about. It's March Madness. Well, I've already decided the bracket. They already played the first, I guess technically 3 rounds, because they count those first 4 games this round by themselves. So we'll be down to the Sweet 16. Also, where are the Thunder going to be? Are they still going to be in 3rd place? Or will the Clippers have surpassed them by then? So be sure to tune in the 21st. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter at MW_show. Like us on Facebook at The Matt Wallen Show. Email us at themattwallenshow@gmail.com. Finally, you can always catch the show on our blog, themattwallenshow.blogspot.com. And be sure to vote on our poll question. It's still at 86-14. Russell Westbrook is being, who would you rather have at point guard, Westbrook or Lillard? Interesting. I know Thunder fans love him. I do too, but I think Damian Lillard might be a better fit at this time. Have a good spring break, everyone. Enjoy March Madness, and thanks for listening to the award-winning Matt Wallen Show on 99.3 U Central Radio.
WZUC LP.
Your station, 99.3.
Celebrating 125 years of excellence at UCO.
We play the best music.
Can't get it anywhere else.
UCO's best mix.
New Central Radio.